Coming up on ECG, more Rick and Morty might be on the way.
Infinite profits.
Power Rangers join Hasbro.
Law breaking into Battle Royale.
All this and more coming up on the East Coast Geek podcast. Hey, let's do that again and actually record it this time. Hey, this is a live show. This is the things you got to deal with, right? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? We haven't done this in a while.
I mean, you're wrong for not pressing record.
Well, you know,
should just keep all this in.
I should, but I haven't hit record yet, so it's fine.
Okay.
I'll leave it on the front end of the video. All right.
Yep.
Coming up on ECG, more Rick and Morty might be on the way.
Infinite profits.
Power Rangers join Hasbro.
Law breaking into Battle Royale.
All this and more coming up on the East Coast Geek podcast. Welcome to episode 129 of the East Coast Geek Podcast for Friday, May 11th, 2018, where we bring you all the latest news on comics, sometimes, movies, and gaming. I'm your host, Jeremy, and with me, as always, is Opu. And hopefully Greg's in the chat room because he distracted me, and that's why we messed up. I blame him. So how you doing, buddy?
Well, yes, Perry, we are a little rusty. But yeah, I know I've had a really good week.
A lot rusty. You what?
I've had a really good week. Besides,
really good week. It's been a really good almost month because we've always.
Oh yeah. Last couple of months. Yeah, well, this week was really good.
Yeah.
How did you forget how ugly Jeremy is? Don't you see him?
No, I never see him.
Oh, okay.
He never watches my streams anyways. He complains that I don't watch his, but then he doesn't watch mine. So we'll go with it. We'll do what we need to do. But anyways, So, what's been going on? Anything crazy? You read anything good? Played any good games?
Yeah, actually, in fact, in order to try to put some content out there for us the last couple of weeks, I started some kind of impromptu music book reviews. So I put book reviews on YouTube. They're still work in progress, kind of informal. I did do some fancy effects with one of them, but that's how that goes. But I got a publishing contract. Yay.
Oh yeah, that's right. Congratulations. Our very own Mitch Larkins here is being published, and I'm sure we'll post stuff about that once everything starts happening. But what are you writing? What did you write? I guess
I wrote a lit RPG story. If you don't know what that is, it's a book that's based around either like video games or Dungeons and Dragons in a way. Like it takes the mechanics of it. It's a subgenre for science fiction and fantasy.
Oh, that's cool. That sounds awesome.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. Yeah, so hopefully it does good. I've got a couple of books I'm working on as well besides that one. But I'll keep you posted on when more comes out of it.
Yeah, that's exciting news, man.
Yeah.
That's great.
Totally.
Well, at least one of us will be rich and famous. My podcast endeavors are, they're here, but they're making about as much money as your book is right now. So yeah,
pretty much. Well, you do have to post more than once a month. They say.
I guess. I mean, I was trying something different because we've been doing this for a couple of years straight, and you try and change.
Let's try not put.
Yeah.
Let's try not posting any content. See if we make money.
Test that. Does absence make the heart grow fonder? Now, to be truthful, we've had a lot of things going on the past couple of weeks. Stuff with my family, mostly with me. It's my fault. But
I have nothing interesting going on in my life.
We're back and well rested, and it's time to go. So why don't we just jump right into it? We've got a little bit of banter here. Promises, no spoilers. But we got some stats on the Infinity Wars because that came out while we were gone. And to some great success as well. Infinity Wars so far to the stats on boxofficemojo.com. The movie has made 1.2 billion, roughly. A little bit more than that, obviously, but 1.2 billion worldwide. This is also with the absence of China, which releases today. And they haven't updated with numbers from them yet. They made right now the domestic total is at 479 million here in the U.S. and their opening weekend becoming the #1 opening weekend of all time, minus China, by the way, at $630 million. And yeah, it did all right, I guess. It is now the fastest movie in history to reach $1 billion in sales. So it's got that going for it. So if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it, and I can't wait to go see it again.
Yeah, I really need to go see it again. I did. Let me tell you, now that I'm an old antisocial man, going and seeing movies at 9 in the morning is absolutely brilliant. Like, hardly anybody's in the theater. When I got out of the theater, because it was the Saturday Infinity War premiered, the line was just, it was like when you play a game of Snake, it was just everywhere. So I was like, oh, wow. The only thing is, like, since I've moved up here, I've noticed that when you buy a ticket at a lot of these theaters, you have to pick your seat.
Some theaters are doing that, and that's kind of a good thing. I mean, it gives you the option of saying, all right, this is exactly where I want to sit, and then that's your seat, and nobody can take it away from you. That's a good thing. So to caveat that, by the way, I had they let us into the movies probably about 20 minutes before even the preview started. And Christopher and I are going to town at the popcorn and pop, as you do. And all of a sudden, I was like, man, I'm going to be fine. And I had to go. So I had to go to the bathroom, and I was like, this theater is almost packed full. And I was afraid we were going to lose our seats, even as crappy as they were, because we were kind of on the floor, last row on the floor, and off to the right a little. So it kind of sucked. Hopefully the next viewing will be more centered, but still a great movie. I enjoyed it, even besides that. But luckily we didn't lose our seat and all that good stuff. And sure enough, I asked Christopher when we were there. I was like, "You gotta go. You should go. If you can go, you should go. So you don't have to worry about it." And I don't remember what part I missed, but there was a part where there was some talking. I'm sure I would have enjoyed. That he had to go, so I had to step out again, and it's like,
they say you're supposed to grow out of diapers, but with films like this, maybe we should have worn some. I just sit there and I have to fight through it. I just can't. I cannot let myself miss any of these films. So I went. So the theater near me does the reserved sitting thing. Okay. This was my first time doing it for this theater, and it was all open. Like, well, there was some seats reserved, and I was looking at it, and I was thinking that the closer, like the screen would be here, the closer seatings would be A, B, C, D. So I was like, oh, let me grab M, because that seems pretty far away. I grab it, and they go the opposite way, where A is in the far back. A, B, C. So I'm like right up there like this, and I'm like, you know what? I could just move to another seat because there's hardly anybody here, but I don't want to do it just as the guy. Somebody happens to show up like 20 minutes late to the movie, and then I feel like a jerk. Right. But so that's why I need to go back so I can sit farther back. But I've learned for next time.
That's good. It's a learning experience, and some of those things are kind of ridiculous to navigate. The Alamo Drafthouse, even when you go pick up your tickets there, they make you pick seats, and it's like, at least they have where it shows the screen on there, so you know where the front row is, and it's like, oh yeah, we don't want to sit that close, but maybe not too far back either. So
and to be fair to the to the theater. It could very well say that the screen is right here. Because I was doing it first thing in the morning, I was trying to get through it as quickly as possible.
No, you were thinking logically. That was your problem.
Oh yeah. And here's what else happened is that I initially reserved my seats, and I messaged my wife. I said, "Hey, yeah, we got I got first thing in the morning, 9:45." And she responds back with, "You remember that Laylee has a doctor's appointment at 10, right, on Saturday?" I was like, so I rush and cancel it. And then she's like, "Oh, wait, that's the next weekend. I'm sorry, I forgot." So I had to order those tickets again. But I managed to get like a refund where it was like the equal amount in credit.
Yeah.
So it ended up I didn't have to like pay double. But
okay, good.
It was worth the struggles and the heartache, but
Gotcha. So that's all that's been going on, other than the fact that I restarted my addiction. Started playing World of Warcraft again. Oh, there we go. And I've dragged others into my addiction, which I usually do. Hi, Greg. And Robbie, if he's out there. But man, I boosted a druid at the beginning of the expansion and haven't touched it since, and went back to it, and it's my new class. Which is sad because I really like the shaman, but you know what? I can do all 4 roles on that one character, so. Yeah, you enjoyed it. Stop. But Robbie started playing this morning again too, by the way. But anyways, all right. So enough with that. Let's go ahead and get into the movies and TV, because we've kind of thrown everything all into one. So let's go ahead with that. Here, let me hit this button for Perry. For Perry. A little louder next time. For Perry. Thanks, Perry. Thanks a lot.
The paladins have always been OP in World of Warcraft.
Yeah, I have to say, having the self-heal on the druid is pretty nice, too. I almost never die. I do sometimes die. It's because I'm stupid. Alright, here we go. First article, go for it. All yours.
Snake Eyes spin-off movie has been announced and is currently in production, I believe. Despite the fact that the beloved G.I. Joe action figures and animated series have yet to spawn a successful film franchise, one of its most popular characters is in line for a solo spin-off. According to a new report from...
Hold on. Has anybody watched The Toys That Made Us?
No.
If you haven't watched it, you should watch it. Snake Eyes, the action figure, was just a non-modeled black figure because that's all they could afford. And that seems to be the most successful character out of that franchise that everybody loves so much. He was just a hunk of plastic that they couldn't spend the money on to model and paint and all that. So they made him as simple as possible, and that was the results. So he's getting a spin-off movie. All right.
So
continue.
I mean, sometimes that's all it takes is like you boil it down to the basics, and that's what makes a good make a good character.
I gotta highly recommend that show too. Being on Netflix, it's gonna always be there, and I think it's only like what is it, Greg? Like 3 or 4 episodes for the first series, and then they're gonna do another set. It's been approved for more. They did Star Wars, and the Sand People. They didn't have enough. They didn't have enough time to do up a character for the Sand People, so one of the guys like took his sock off, cut it up, and made its cloak out of that. You know it was the Sand People or the Jawa, one or the other, but yeah, he just cut his sock up and put it on the figure, and then he's like, yeah, the guy that's the head of the marketing and all that, looking at it, and this is it, and he's looking at a character with my sock on him. So, all right, go ahead. Jawas, yeah, okay.
I could just imagine being like, oh, we're making scented action figures now. Why does it smell like a locker room?
Why does this smell like foot.
According to Star Wars canon, they smell like bad garlic, not like locker room foot sweat.
All right, so according to the new report.
From THR, that's the Hollywood Reporter, Paramount has decided to put a snake-centric spin-off movie into development. The studio is currently engaged in talks with Evan Spilopotamus, writer of Beauty and the Beast, and The Huntsman, which, well, you're not going to correct me on that name.
What?
I thought you would correct me on that dude's last name.
Oh.
Look at it.
No, I'm not.
That's a dinosaur's name.
I'm not correct. Yeah, I'm not correcting you. I'm not correcting you on this. I'm going to actually put it in chat so people can see it, because that's ridiculous.
To pen the film script earlier this week. Let's try it, guys. Let's go on this adventure with me. Paulos. Oh, that hurt me. Was hired to write the Bright sequel for Netflix, and
that's getting a sequel.
I guess so. I never watched it either. I heard like mixed reviews from certain people.
Like super mixed reviews. Like,
did you watch it?
No, I haven't watched it yet. I'm kind of scared of it. I'm afraid. I heard it's high fantasy with lots of sexual themes, like strip clubs and everything.
Oh,
like nudity and it's not for the kids kind of show. I think it's R-rated anyways. So, all right, go ahead.
So, the report also states that Brian Goldner will be one of the Solo movie's producers. This Solo movie arrives as the third live-action G.I. Joe movie. I do try with these names now. G.I. Joe movie in the last 10 years. Paramount produced both G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra in 2009 and G.I. Joe Retaliation 2013. Neither movie was well received by critics, nor did they perform all that well at the box office. I don't know why. G.I. Joe should be a simple movie to make. So I don't know why they're struggling with it. Maybe because they're trying to. Did they try to go too realistic at first, and then they went zany?
I guess.
I'm not sure. It feels like they tried to get close, but maybe they don't understand the characters. I'm not sure.
I liked Scarlett. I like Rachel Nichols though in the movies.
Yeah. Both films did feature Snake Eyes, however, each time being played by Ray Park, which we know as
Toad
and Darth Maul.
Darth Maul, yeah.
Yep. Though Snake Eyes never speaks or reveals his face, he's easily one of the most popular characters
I thought
in
you
the
were
entire...
looking. I thought you were looking for a role he played more than once. I mean, he can't be in two places at once in Star Wars, right?
Well, I guess now he can.
Anyways, okay, sorry. All right, terrible jokes. All right, continue. Sorry.
Anyways, though Snake Eyes never speaks or reveals his face, he's easily one of the most popular characters in the entire G.I. Joe lore. His main story points include his relationship with Scarlett, his rivalry with brother-turned-assassin Storm Shadow, and his adventures with his pet wolf Timber. Snake Eyes. So here's the thing.
It's a timber wolf. All right.
Yeah, it is.
They're doing punny dad jokes over there. G.I. Joe 2. Come on.
So, Snake Eyes doesn't talk.
Does he need to?
Does he need to? Does he need to?
I mean, listen, Greg and you, and I'm sure Perry and anybody else who's listening that's played Skyrim knows that the best way to do the Dark Brotherhood is to just be silent. Not say anything, right? I mean, you could do it in that game.
Yeah.
Pretend you're the hero. They should make it a first-person action film. Like what was the name?
That Hardcore Henry.
Hardcore Henry. Yeah, that's what it was.
Was that good?
I don't know, but I remember that video that guy did before that spawned the movie. That was really good. It was one of those fan film type things that they hooked up the rig and did all that stuff on their own, and then got tons of money to do a movie version of it. And it had freaking piece of crap dude from Game of Thrones. Dude, what likes the Stark women? Peter Baelish. I can't remember the guy's name, but
he was also in that Time video game or whatever.
Yeah. Quantum
Leap. Yeah,
not
sure.
Quantum Leap. That was a TV show. Go ahead. Continue.
Okay, so anyways, now we're just in the rambling part where we go. Okay, so yes, so one, Snake Eyes shouldn't talk in this film. He's never talked before, as far as I know. So here's the thing. I mean, there used to be silent films. Maybe they can bring that back, but I don't know if the directors these days, most of them probably aren't talented enough to have the person know how to, because it's beyond like acting with their face. You know, they have to use their entire body language for this.
Yeah, but Ray Park's a good pick for that, though, right?
Ray Park, yeah, if he plays him, I mean, yeah, he's mainly known as doing stunt work and martial arts work and everything. So it should be cool at least. I mean, in a action-packed way. I don't know.
Cool.
It just depends.
Cool and flippy. With
swords. Flippy, yes, a lot of flips.
The dude's awesome. I've seen him, seen his videos from cons and stuff that he does, where he actually plays around with some of the fans, and it's really neat. The guy's got skills. I mean,
he kind of has to.
Use. I mean, put him to use. Yeah. He can talk with that body language, but so in going through this, you know, it looks like Hasbro's trying to make good on their "we want to make a universe" thing, and I think this next article links directly into that too. The Power Rangers have been purchased completely by Hasbro now.
Yes.
They own everything from Saban brands. Or Saban.
Yep,
it's Saban.
That includes My Pet Monster, Popples, Julius Jr., Luna Petunia, Treehouse Detectives, and more. This deal, which includes cash and stock, is valued around $522 million.
Wow.
So,
how much is Disney paying for Fox again? It's like tens of billions, right? It was like 40.
I don't
42
think
billion.
Was it 42 billion?
I think so.
Well, hell, they made $500 million on a weekend. So
yeah, I mean,
on one movie, they're kind of bleeding money right now. I guess that's not it. They're raining money, whatever.
52 billion in stock. So yeah, it's a lot of money. Sorry. Anyways, back to what we were talking about.
All right, so Power Rangers is an iconic brand built on a heritage of great storytelling and merchandising with tremendous upside potential when fully executed across Hasbro's brand blueprint. Now, to be fair, like the comics are pretty legit. The old cartoon or the old TV show was cheesy, but it was cheesy. Yeah, just time for toy stores to go out of business, pretty much. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they still got distribution through Walmart and Amazon.
Mm-hmm. And their own online store.
The hard thing is that Toys R Us provided a unique experience for kids to actually see the toys. Mm-hmm. Instead of just seeing them on the screen, you actually get to see what you're looking at, or what you're going to get. So, I mean, in one way, yeah, sure, but at the other, it hurts. Especially when it's been so much of our childhoods when we were younger. So,
yeah, because see, when I was a kid, we didn't have a toy. Well, we didn't have anything around us.
That's
you had to drive an hour plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had to take our airboat out an hour and a half to get to dry land, and then we could see the Toys R Us. So I only got to go to Toys R Us a handful of times throughout my childhood. So it was like Christmas in a store for us, you know what I'm saying? It was a very magical experience. I remember buying Z-Bots there. And also, seeing stuff like My Pet Monster and those names pop up. Who owns Mighty Max? Why doesn't somebody bring that back?
Well, you said what?
What is it? You remember Mighty Max? Why doesn't
Mighty
somebody
Max.
bring that back?
Mighty Max and Polly Pocket, right?
Right, yeah. So they had the boy version and the girl version, and Mighty Max had its own cartoon. And when the show got canceled, they got to like wrap everything up, and it was dark as. It was very dark at the end, but they made it into a time loop, so they could always show the show.
Bluebird toys. They were available from 92 to 96.
I'd like them to come back. Maybe not necessarily as a toy, but like. Can you imagine Mighty Max?
Ocean Software made a game for the Super NES and the Mega Drive Genesis.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Those were neat because they were like little self-contained actions sets for you to play with. Yeah,
they were really cool.
Yep.
So, anyways, let's finish this. Brian Goldner, Hasbro's chairman and chief executive officer, said the brand blueprint stuff. Shortly after entering into our licensing arrangement, it became clear that now was the time to begin investing in unlocking Power Rangers' full potential. We see significant opportunity for Power Rangers across the entire brand blueprint, including toys and games, consumer products, digital gaming, and entertainment.
Because everybody wants to see a Power Rangers versus Transformers meets the G.I. Joes.
Dude, there was a Transformers versus. There's been a couple of Transformers versus G.I. Joe comics. One was what if the G.I. Joe were in World War II, and they woke up the Transformers, so they had the Transformers helping them fight in World War II, and so like you got to see these like almost steampunky like Optimus Prime.
Now you're talking about time traveling robots. Now you lost me.
Oh, dude, what about Beast Wars?
Oh, Beast Wars. Was Beast Wars the ones? What was the?
They time traveled.
What was the one with the dinosaurs with all the machines on them? Was that Dinobots?
Yes. Oh, man. And there was another one.
Those were my favorite toys. I had a what was that, an Ankylosaur with a giant balliste on it.
Yeah. Ankylosaur was like my favorite dinosaur as a kid. But there was also another one. There was this other G.I. Joe versus Transformers one where Snake Eyes is actually by himself and he sees Starscream, right? And Starscream is he's talking smack to him. He's like, "Oh, well, what's one puny little human going to do to me? I'm massive." And it was like on this cliff, like Snake Eyes was right here, and Starscream's head was like right here. So he just jumps on him, like smashes in his eye, and wedges a hand grenade in there and runs off. And so now Starscream's running around blind in one eye with a hand grenade in there. It's freaking hilarious.
Great.
So, let's see, blah, 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 blah. Global retail footprint. We couldn't be more pleased that Haim Saban will continue in our consulting role to further guide our development of this valuable property for the next generation of Power Ranger fans. 25 years after launching Power Rangers, I believe the future for this brand has never been greater, claimed Saban, founder of Saban Brando.
God, these things have been around since I was 10.
Yeah.
That's weird.
And the creator of Power Rangers. Hasbro's leadership in innovation, storytelling, really? And brand stewardship make it the perfect company to
Weren't we just talking?
further develop. Yeah, we were just talking about that. Further develop the global. I mean, I know they have to say this stuff, but they have to be like, this storytelling really, dudes. What movie did you guys just freaking release? Or, I mean, a few years ago. Those were trash.
Yeah, for sure.
But, I mean, Saban really can't say nothing because the Power Rangers movie wasn't necessarily well received.
They're just trying to make a sale and save face and keep involved. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all that's chalked up to. All right. Anything else?
Blah, 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 blah. Fans will start seeing the products from Hasbro in 2000. I'm tired of that quote already. Their fluff piece quotes. Yeah. So the fans will start seeing products from Hasbro in 2019. Now, this is the first time, and Jeremy and I had this discussion off camera. This isn't the first time Power Rangers have been sold. It was previously sold to Disney, funny enough, in 2001. but was purchased back in 2010.
By Saban
Since then,
Brands,
yep, by Saban Brands. Since then, the show has featured Power Rangers Samurai, Super Samurai, Mega Force, Super Mega Force, Dino Charge, Dino Supercharge, Ninja Steel, and Super Ninja Steel. Good
do you
gracious.
see what they did? They just added Super to all those to make a sequel series. If I would have thought about that, it would have been so easy. I know what the title for your second book is. Just add Super to the beginning of it.
Yeah, Super, exactly. I've been missing the gold mine. And the third one, Super, whatever. Yeah.
All right. Let's
Nope.
like I said, they're looking at Hasbro's looking at doing the whole multi-titled universe. That it's the I want what Marvel has syndrome that DC's having a problem struggling with, which DC has no excuse. They have the ability to do that because their comic books aren't very much different. Super East Coast podcast. There we go. Perfect, Perry. Starring Perry. They want what Marvel has. DC has the established universe that they can do that easily. And even though it was easy, they made it hard and screwed it all up. Okay? They have no continuity in their universe that makes much of any sense. A lot of it is just, hey, this is cool, let's throw this storyline in, instead of people sitting around. And I read a lot of... so, not to put too many cats out of the bag, but I was doing a little research for that side project that I'd been talking about with you and Greg, and came across a lot of interesting stuff. And apparently, the first half of the Marvel Cinematic Universe feels so stiff because of Perlmutter, which I think we've talked about before. Yeah. But if you've noticed, and after reading that, I've been going back and I've been watching a lot of the different movies, and I'm like, wow, they weren't kidding. He was really stifling the freaking the ingenuity of the whole studio. Yeah. And having freaking Feige being able to do what he's done in the past few years, there's a reason why they've made, for the last 5 films, they've made at least, I think it's $800 million.
Not only that, but he was driving the actors away.
Yeah.
The actors were wanting to end their contracts. I mean, now some of them are still going to probably end it, but we've only kept certain characters around for so long because they got rid of that creative committee, which was probably nice at first, but they were too controlling and constricting of everything.
Well, see, I'm kind of for the committee at some point because Feige can't do it all. Feige started this when he was 33. It's been 10 years. He's 43 now. If, for some odd reason, something decides to happen to Feige and he's the only one that holds the keys to the plan, that's your single point of failure. He still needs people that he's collaborating with, and hopefully that's something that they're doing to make sure that they know what the intentions were for the plan and they can continue it even if something happened. You know what I mean? Because, and it would be in their best interest too, because it's making money. Like I said,
the
last
what was
5
that one guy from
$800,000 or $800 million.
What was the Blizzard dude that just retired?
A couple of years ago now, you're talking about Chris Metzen.
Yeah. I mean, but he trained somebody up.
Yes.
And gave them all the lore that he had built before then. So he could do the same thing. And not only that, but fortunately, they don't even really have to break new ground, so to speak, because they have still 70 years worth of canon and character, 5,000 characters at one count of characters that they can utilize. They just need somebody that understands how to pull them all together, and that might be And the other thing is, you can train people to do that stuff and be like, but you can't hand over people your vision. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they're going to have their different aspects. That's why Marvel is in the crap right now, because they have these brilliant characters, these brilliant plots, but people are so focused on their own personal motivations, they ruin the characters for their principle, or whatever they want to call it, their personal agenda.
Their motivations, yeah.
Their motivations.
I got a
as
question.
opposed to DC. Well, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. As opposed to
I was
DC.
going to say that, ironically enough, DC, they've been towing that line a little bit, and they're starting to fall to Marvel's side on it. But that's why their comics have been blowing Marvel's out of the water, because they stay true to the characters for the most part, and the stories, despite the fact that they let Catwoman beat up 3 Flashes with 1 hit each.
She has cat-like reflexes.
I mean, when I read that comic, and I keep saying, "Oh, the mind control thing," that made me want to vomit. I'm drama queen, me, but no.
So I got a question for you. This is another thing. I needed to do another trivia thing for you.
Oh God.
Do you know the designator for the MCU? Do you know that they have a designator?
Every universe has a designator. The main Marvel universe is 616. I think the Ultimates was like 1611.
This guy's a freaking font of comic knowledge.
Yeah,
he's a national treasure.
Yeah, sure. but yeah, each one has their own. I think for Marvel Zombies they actually designated it as 666.
I'm pretty amazed that you know all these, but that's not what I asked you. I asked you.
I don't know MCU.
I was actually amazed that they actually did have one. Just thinking that maybe they're just doing it for whatever, and they've always made the claim that it's an amalgamation of all the stories that we've told before, just in a different time in a different place. It is actually Earth 199,999. That is the designator. That is the actual designator for it. Why they didn't make it something simpler, I don't know, but that's fine.
Because it's comics.
I guess. I mean, but you just rattled off all these 600 series numbers.
Well,
they could have made it.
I said the ultimate one. I said the ultimate one was 4 digits, 1611.
Oh, that's right. It was 1611.
But I don't know if I don't know if that's the correct one. But I think it's a 4-digit one for that one.
Yeah, so they actually have a designator for it, and
yeah.
That's cool. There's a lot of interesting stuff, and I'm anticipating that introduction when we do it, because between the 3 of us, and if Scott decides to jump on, we'll do a lot of research to do an introduction to the series before we actually start on our journey. But yeah, I thought it was really neat. But let's go ahead and move on to something more interesting that everybody's been waiting for, and my kids will be sad because they'll never see another episode. I'm going to hit this first. Let's see. Is this going to be too loud? No, it's okay. It's okay. That's our rumor alarm, and we don't use it enough when we call rumors. But the other day, within the last week, right, Justin Roiland tweeted out this picture. And May 10th. That was actually yesterday. Holy crap.
Yep.
Time flies when you're old. All right. So anyway, Rick and Morty, 70 more episodes. What does that say? It's official, Morty. 70 more adventures, Morty. You and me, 70 more, Morty. And then, oh geez. From May 10th, 2018. It was a drawing by Justin Roiland. We're getting 70 more episodes, maybe? One can
unless for whatever reason their ratings fall into the pooper.
See,
but
that's what I don't get. But at the same time, we were talking about it before the show, and I was trying to come up with what to put in here. But it kind of makes sense that it's been so long dealing with Adult Swim and Cartoon Network to try and get everything straightened out. More so now that we see a number like 70, that means that they're writing 10 seasons worth of episodes, honestly, and they can do it at whatever speed now and have a set schedule. Whereas the first one had a little over a year between season 1 and season 2, but then there was a 1 to 2 year gap between season 2 and 3, which was painful. And the little drop at the end of the 3rd season where we'll see you sometime. It might be a few years or something like that. It makes sense. They were negotiating for long-term contract. because
Right.
this year to year or year to every couple of years was not working. They needed something concrete, and now they have that. And like I was mentioning to you earlier, they could work at whatever pace they want and have I said 10 seasons. I meant 70 seasons or 7 seasons. 70 seasons. That'd be great.
Well, it would. That would be if each season is 10 episodes long. They've been about what, 12? I think.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's been 12. So it's 5.
Yeah.
5 or so. Depending.
We'll just say 7 for ease of math.
Yeah, we'll go with 7 for now. But I mean that also gives them that ability to say, hey, we're doing 10 episodes a season. This is what you're getting.
Yeah.
But at least we know there's 70 episodes ahead if this is true, because there has been no official confirmation from Cartoon Network. But it's everywhere. So
yeah.
Whether they're just trumping up the rumor mill or the hype train to force Cartoon Network into it, because it like you said, it's high rated. It's a great show for us nerds. We like the what did I call it?
What did you call it?
The high intelligence humor, and then you said then there's a character named Mr. Poopy Butthole. So
yeah.
There's a lot of things in there for a lot of people, and a lot of those people are not my kids, so they won't be seeing anymore, because after the Pickle Rick episode and the Pickle Rick episode specifically, when he's tearing apart the rats and all the crazy crap that's going on there and the whole assassination thing in that, it's a little more adult for the kids than we had hoped. Even though the first few seasons were the same, but not as super as it was this last season. So I'm excited.
And my thing is, with that one, it was like when they made that episode, I'm like, are they trying to get canceled? Well, but then you look at stuff like Metalocalypse, and they were extremely gory all of the time. And the other concern is, here's the reason I think a lot of people are always concerned with Adult Swim, is that they are really bad at renewing shows. Like Metalocalypse pretty much ended on a cliffhanger. So with other shows that go 2 or 3 years between hiatus, especially animated shows, most people don't usually sweat. But whenever it's Adult Swim and Cartoon Network in general, then because they like to pick the worst shows to continue.
That's why I figured this was that's why I figured that this was taking this long, was because they're trying to nail them down and say, hey, listen, we've got a great thing. We know it's doing well for you. The traffic to the page for replay episodes, the rerun episodes showing on the channel get higher numbers or whatever. We have the evidence that shows that the show is doing really well. There's no reason why you shouldn't, give us the opportunity to continue the story. Mm-hmm. At this point, they could do anything. They have a multiverse too. They could decide to follow the Cronenberg ones for a season or something. They have the opportunity to do anything that they want. They don't have to follow. Was 317 right? Is the Rick we're following around?
I forget. I'm not sure which Rick we're following around. And then again, there's always those rumors that implies that he's not our Morty's Rick. There's always those theories that.
Oh, 137. My bad.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Not to mention the fact that we still have the evil Morty to worry about, who's still out there, actually ruling the Citadel of Ricks, right? Am I remembering that right?
I don't know if you remember that right or not.
What was he in charge of? It was the Citadel of the Ricks, right? Or not the Citadel of the Ricks.
I guess you're going to have to go rewatch season 3.
God, I don't own it. Is it out on DVD?
It should be on Hulu, right?
Is it on Hulu? Oh, then I'll have to go watch it. Maybe I'll be watching them tonight.
Let's find out.
I guess so. All right, let's see. All right, last thing in here. You want to go ahead and take this one? This one's all you, because I don't know who this is.
You don't know? You for real don't know who this is?
I know.
Okay, I was going to say. So there's one thing TV series announced with James Wan involved. The guy with Aquaman. So I guess I have a lot of confidence in him. I guess he did Fast and Furious, but So hopefully the budget is better than the Teen Titans live action show because.
Oh yeah, we didn't really report on that, but those costumes look terrible for that show.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know that those. I know they were like, oh, well, that's without the special effects and stuff. It's not like, no, you can't special effects way.
Hey, special
trashy
effects.
wigs.
Special effects. I got a question.
Okay.
All right. Never mind. I'll ask you offline because it might be considered spoilers, and I don't want to piss anybody off.
Yeah, that's fine. So DC Comics announced the first bit of information about its new DC Universe streaming service, which I believe we've discussed previously. Anyways, spoiler alert, they're doing an online streaming service because everybody is. And it didn't take long to add another title to it. According to The Hollywood Reporter, a Swamp Thing live-action TV series is officially in development for the service with a script-to-series order. I tried to look that up. I couldn't find anything what exactly that meant. So if anybody out there knows, of course I did this like 5 minutes before we were supposed to record, so I didn't get to look that hard. So if anybody can find that, let me know. I'd greatly appreciate it. The project will be co-written by Mark Van Handen, Daredevil and Battlestar Galactica, and Gary Daberman. I wonder if everybody calls him Doberman when he gets mean. Who would serve as showrunners if the series gets picked up? Aquaman director James Wan is set to executive produce alongside Atomic Monsters Michael Clear and Atomic Monsters Rob Hackett, set to co-produce. I don't know Atomic Monster. I know Atomic Puppet.
Atomic Robo.
I know Atomic Robo. Absolutely. I was just telling somebody about how great that comic was. Here is the official description. When CDC researcher Abby Arcane, that is such a comic book name, returns to her childhood home of Houma, Louisiana, in order to investigate a deadly swamp-borne virus, she develops a surprising bond with scientist Alec Holland.
Holland. There's
Holland.
2 L's. The O. Oh my god. It's like
the first L is silent.
No. Oh my god.
Holland, only to have him tragically taken from her. But as powerful forces descend on Houma, intent on exploiting the swamp's mysterious properties for their own purposes, Abby will discover that the swamp holds mystical secrets, both horrifying and wondrous, and the potential love of her life may not be dead after all. So Swamp Thing, who was first introduced to DC Comics in the 1970s and 1980s, has had a weird history of making it into live action. Most notably, Wes Craven wrote and directed a 1982 live-action film about the character, which was followed by a live-action animated series in the 1990s. I remember the live-action TV show. Don't remember the cartoon. Don't know why I don't remember it. Also, if I'm remembering correctly, Swamp Thing was created around the same time Man-Thing was created, because the 2 guys that created them,
they were roommates.
Were like roommates in college. Yes. Isn't that interesting?
I remember some comic trivia I heard about before.
Yeah.
Actually, Greg probably heard it too because it was on another show that we listened to. That had come up, but yeah, that's an interesting little tidbit. Where did you leave off on this?
I finished it.
That was it. Great.
That was it. I was just going to discuss Swamp Thing, but everybody should know Swamp Thing.
He's a guy that's made out of swamp.
Kind of.
He's like the swamp version of the creature from the Black Lagoon.
So here's another interesting thing is that what happened?
He's very similar to Man-Thing.
So he is supposed to be. He's like the protector of the green, like the magical life force of the flora on planet Earth. Right?
Oh, so he's a Green Lantern.
Kind of. Basically, he can do that as long as he says, "I'm using the plants." He can pretty much do anything a Green Lantern does except fly into space. And maybe that's not even, because at one point he did have wings for whatever reason. So maybe he could have flown into space. I don't know.
Seriously, Man-Thing looks like Swamp Thing, except he looks like a Lovecraftian creature.
Yeah.
He's got like the tendrils.
I mean, they're very distinct in their own ways.
They
Swamp
are.
Thing's intelligent. Man Thing's more animalistic and
Uses
more
an axe.
instinctive.
He uses an axe.
I know he doesn't.
What?
He has a Man Thing has an acidic touch.
So this cover of Man Thing #5 has R.L. Stine's name on it.
Uh huh.
Why?
The modern, yeah, because he wrote it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
We reported on R.L. Stine Rotten Comics.
I don't remember. I'm getting too old.
Hey, go back like 20 episodes.
Is it only 20?
He was.
Okay.
I don't know. He got picked up to write some Man Thing comics.
You know what? I think Swamp Thing looks more like hokey than Man Thing. Actually, like Man Thing. Let me take a look at Swamp Thing again. Yeah, I like Man Thing better. Okay, continue. Sorry.
So, anyways, what was I going to say? I totally forgot. So, the Animal Man basically is the physical embodiment of the red of like the animal life force and mystical energies or whatever you want to say. Supposedly. What? There was something else I was going to say, but I totally forgot it now. We went on that little discussion.
I'm sorry. It's
Uh,
not my fault.
Oh, this
Terrible.
this time it is your fault, but I still love you. If anybody can remind me what tangent I was about to go on. Anyways, I like Swamp Thing. I think he's a neat character. He's got that. Oh, here it is. So supposedly at one point in the comics, Solomon Grundy was originally supposed to be the reincarnation of Swamp Thing first. He was supposed to be the new body for it. However, something went wrong with his transformation, so he became like this quasi-zombie that can never be killed. That was it.
I got you. I'm sorry, I was looking ahead at one of the other notes because, oh no, I messed up my window. Alright, great. Let's wrap that up. We're done here. We're going to go to the games really quick and finish that out before we get out of here. Because as per usual, even though it's been a while, we still know how to make it a longer show than it needs to be. I don't know what it is. I just always love the Mega Man theme. It's so good.
It is a great one.
The sounds, you know. All right. The Lawbreaker devs have made a battle royale game. Another battle royale game because everybody's. I mean, I heard Battlefield's doing one. I heard every E3 announcement this year, and I think I linked a picture in the Facebook page. Every E3 announcement is going to be a battle royale game. The Division, Battlefield, Call of Duty. More so, Call of Duty and Battlefield supposedly are a real thing. So, the game is called Radical Heights. It's a battle royale, but it's a game show, which I thought was the whole battle royale thing anyways, right? I mean, there's cameras there. We're watching them, right?
Yeah, I guess.
The Hunger Games is basically a freaking game show, except with more higher stakes involved. Right? Am I wrong? I mean, it decides who gets more food for the year, right? Wasn't that how it goes? I don't know. I didn't really pay attention.
Oh, wait, with Hunger Games?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, their district got rewards for it.
Yeah,
it wasn't like,
that's what I'm
okay,
saying.
well...
It's a high-stakes game show where winner takes all, and literally winner takes all. So, Boss Key Productions is hot off the development, launch, and death of its game Lawbreakers, and the 11 people that still play it, or is it only 5? And is moving on with a brand new game which launches in early access tomorrow, which was a while ago.
Last week?
A couple of weeks ago. The new game is called Radical Heights, and it's, you guessed it, a battle royale game. It's kind of interesting. You can play the game for free starting the time of the article. The team at Boss Key have made it abundantly clear, however, that this game is in extreme early access. They've been fixing things with bicycles and stuff like that in the game. It's kind of weird. What they're trying to do is introduce players to the core concept and vision and start gathering feedback in order to form a solid foundation for a launch about a year from now. So, I mean, what? PUBG spent 9 months in development before it launched, or 8 months in early access. I mean, because it
only
launched,
9 months. I thought it was a lot longer.
The beta launched in, it was probably about a year. The beta launched in late March, and it launched in late December. So it's about 8 months worth of playtime or whatever, or 9 months. As players get their hand on the game and offer feedback, things are going to change, and the game will continue to receive additional costs. Oh, coats of costs. It's gonna incur additional costs, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Of polish, or is that Polish? I can never figure that out. As time goes on,
is it capitalized?
It's not, but they're both spelled the same, so it doesn't matter. And furniture polish is still spelled the same as furniture Polish. The game's official description, per the Steam listing, offers this elevator pitch. Partake in a high-stakes battle royale gunplay in a sunny SoCal dome as contestants drive by on BMX bikes or stalk other contestants from the shadows in search for weapons and prizes, but also cash that you can bank, win or lose. Whether you spend that cash on righteous customizations in your personal prize room or pull it from the ATM to purchase weapons early in the next game, building wealth of cash is as important as taking down competition in this irreverent 80s-themed action game show where everyone wants to be rich and famous. Reactions so far have been mixed. On one hand, the project seems to be a bit reactionary, following the failure of Lawbreakers. On the other hand, more competition in the battle royale space is always welcome because it helps to drive the genre or mode forward and inspire innovation. Well, it's always true. It's like you always want DC films to be good because you want Marvel to have to work harder to beat them. That's the whole deal. Competition drives innovation. It should be remembered that the team is taking the term extreme early access very seriously. This is very much a work in progress, and they publish the following warning to players. The core gameplay experience is complete, however, the players should expect to experience placeholder assets in the world, including models, audio, animation, and even entire buildings. We are actively working on improving performance and bringing the level of polish up across the entire experience. I mean, that goes without saying in the development of an early access game. Some games take it to an extreme, like extreme. Dead Cells, like when you finish the first boss, when it only had one boss, there was a sign at the end of a pier that said, "More coming soon, but for now, jump down this pipe," and it basically turns it into a circle of life. When you go down that pipe, you end up right back in the dungeon where you start in the first place. Which is kind of neat. It's just that circle gameplay. It gives you that fourth wall breaking, but still legitimately telling you that it's still early access. You know. So it was neat. I thought that was kind of neat. But for this, it's to be understood. If they're just starting out development, that it's going to take time for them to spin everything up. So we're at a point in game development where alpha and beta don't really mean much for especially smaller companies, especially the ones that publish on Steam, where they can just say early access and it can be in alpha or it can be in beta before it gets full release, and they just determine when to say it's alpha or beta. Whereas, you know, like WoW, when they're doing their expansions, they have a friends and family alpha, and then they have the closed beta where they start inviting people, and then open beta when they start doing mass invites to start doing stress tests and stuff like that. So early access, yeah, is a really, really loose term, especially in the Steam world. So, I think it looks corny with the whole 80s theme, but I mean, that's the thing, though, as I can understand that it's, you know, that's the point. When it's the point of it, when it's making fun of itself like that, then it knows. Sometimes self-aware games or self-aware stories or self-aware movies really do well. So, I don't know. Maybe it'll do well. I haven't checked in on it lately. I've still been playing PUBG. I tried Fortnite. I mentioned that on the show, and I had another game where it was just like, I don't have enough bullets to destroy everything that they've made. So it doesn't appeal to me. I'll stick with my Battlegrounds. I like it better.
Okay, Grandpa.
Yeah, I know, right?
Everybody's going on to the new thing. So I don't know. I kind of want them to succeed because I kind of felt bad for them with Lawbreakers. How it took off like.
Don't feel bad for them. Their game failed because it was a ripoff of Overwatch and Zero G. Sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know it was a ripoff, but I don't necessarily like seeing people fail. Not all the time, anyway.
Boss Key Productions is quickly becoming the laughingstock of cheap knockoff games. They are literally becoming a cell phone application clone company.
Yeah, they're basically becoming what was it, Digital Homicide was? Remember them?
Digital
The
Homicide.
week and a half that they existed? Oh, it was just, what they would do is they would just go buy the cheapest pre-made equipment, digital equipment, throw it all in a game, and pass it off as an actual game. And then anybody that gave them bad...
They went for 2.5 years, from June 2014 to October 2016.
Yeah, you should go read up on those guys. Anyways, I want to see people succeed, and I don't know.
Wyatt Derp and Wyatt Derp 2 Peacekeeper.
Yeah.
Great.
So anyways, I don't know. I haven't really tried PUBG yet, so
Maybe one
I don't
of
know.
these days you'll get in on it.
Maybe one of these days I'll get with the cool kids.
Me and Greg
But
will take you out there and teach you.
I don't know. I just think I just think everybody's going to be jumping on this battle royale thing. Fortnite's already completely forgotten about the fact that they had a solo play, not necessarily solo play, but a story mode. Dude, seems like they've completely forgot about that for their stupid battle royale. So it's kind of like put a sour taste in my mouth already. I can't stand that neglecting actual paying customers for your free to play people. Just whatever. So good luck to them, but I don't necessarily see this lasting that long, to be honest with you, because I think the market is just absolutely dominated, and their self-awareness stuff isn't. First of all, it's 80s stuff. So how many kids these days know or care about the 80s?
We're all adults now, so.
Yeah, exactly. I'm talking about the kids these days that have the time to stream for 6 or 8 hours a day, especially now that it's hitting summer.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's going to be there. I don't know. I need to probably see some video footage, but I kind of left this in here because it felt so desperate. that elevator pitch just felt really, really desperate to me.
Yeah. All right. The next thing we'll do real quick. Loot boxes have been declared illegal in the Netherlands, and the Dutch government agency rules that loot boxes are considered a gambling element, and they are giving the devs I think they have 4 or 5 more weeks to comply and remove the elements from the game, or else they'll face fines and banishment of the game from the Dutch markets.
I don't know how big the Dutch market is, but I think that in a way that's kind of a good thing.
It's about starting small, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, and then there was Hawaii that was trying to ban it or whatever too.
They're already. I think they're already.
Yeah, I think they did it.
All right. Yesterday I got the most exciting announcement of my life. Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate was announced for the Nintendo Switch, and I've been waiting for the sequel for quite some time to get English translated to the 3DS. But that's not happening. It's going to the Switch instead, and I already have one, so I'm happy about that. It kind of leaves the guys on the 3DS out on the curb, but still, I'll enjoy it, so I'm happy. Lots of people were doubting the bandwagon fans about, it'll get a Western translation eventually. It's kind of nice. They're going to allow to... Oh, yawning. Don't yawn, Perry. Perry, listen, I'm gonna blow your mind here in a second. One of the most interesting things is that Monster Hunter World, by and large, from the opinion of the more hardcore players of the Monster Hunter series, and I'll probably be the same opinion at some point, is that Monster Hunter World is actually easy mode Monster Hunter. It tells you where to go and what to follow. You get those cool little sparkly lines. And there's only 30 large monsters to hunt in Monster Hunter World. Though I know it's an online game, so they're slowly releasing stuff here and there. But the Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate will include over 90 large monsters to hunt and a large variety of the smaller ones to hunt as well that are interspersed in the missions. Now that's three times the content of Monster Hunter World, but apparently people are excited because you can dress up your doll cutely in Monster Hunter World, and that's not really going to be an element of Generations maybe, or Generations Ultimate. So, I mean, you got your armor anyways. Apparently people just like to do the whole transmog thing. I know that's a big thing in WoW, and I do it all the time, but that's not like a make or break gameplay element for me. I think more monsters to hunt is. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big thing in Monster Hunter in general, because you always see them popping up and saying, oh, well, hey, for the next week or so, you can download the Mega Man armors or whatever. Or they did Link at one point. They did Sonic as well. I think it was just for the cat people.
No. There are some armor for the humans, some for the cats.
Yeah.
So, you could get the, I think the fairy bow and then the master sword and shield.
Mm-hmm.
So I still need to do those. I should actually do them because a lot of that stuff, I don't know if the DLC stuff is, but a lot of the stuff that you get in Generations is actually going to transfer over to Generations Ultimate, which is pretty awesome. Yeah. I have tons of money and tons of other stuff in my inventory that are just stored for future hunts, and it takes a long time to collect, so the head start would be, welcomed.
Yeah.
So.
And it's always nice for them to like reward seasoned players like that.
Yeah.
Even just carrying over a few little things.
Well, it's not unlike a Pokemon series continuing on.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah.
That's always the great thing, especially when they did the Pokemon Bank system. Being able to pull from multiple versions now is pretty awesome. It's a pretty neat system. So. All right. That's, I don't think they have a, oh yeah, they do. August 28th, I think it is, or something like that. August something. But still no announcement on the Monster Hunter World for the PC, so if I like this enough and I see enough bad things about Monster Hunter World, I may not purchase Monster Hunter World.
And that's sad, because you were really pumped for that at first.
I was, but seeing that, there's only 30 monsters. If I'm getting more out of the mainline games, and if they continue to make the mainline games, I may just stick to those.
Yeah.
It just depends on what they do. I mean, I know that it'll they've got event things going on in Monster Hunter World, but I don't know. We'll see. I may still get it anyways because I like it. I like Monster Hunter. The series is really good as it is, but I may fall off like Perry did because he yawns over there too. So, all right, let's do this last thing here and we can get out of here. Walmart did a awesome, stupid thing in Canada, but Walmart doesn't care, and we talked about this before. Walmart's one of the single largest distributors of everything, and they throw that weight around often. However, this time they did an accident, and they released a slew of video game titles being put out there without permission, placeholders until they get announced at E3, but they used the titles. So the Division 2, not a surprise. So see, the weird thing is reporting on this is GameStop does this all the time too. So we already know some of these things are out there. However, they have I wish I could make this picture bigger. This picture sucks. Let's see. Let me see if I can get this open here so I can read it better, unless you can read it well.
Let me see if I can get it.
One of the ones that's interesting that's caught my attention was Insurgency, which is a PC Steam game, is actually getting a PS4 release under the name Sandstorm. The Last of Us 2, The Just Cause 4. That's something that we didn't know about yet. Wrestling 2019, Assassin's Creed
Which should have been
Origins,
obvious.
Ace Helix. I don't know what that is. That's
Destiny comment.
That's
I don't know
credits.
what that is.
Isn't that credits? The Helix stuff for Age of or Assassin's Creed. I think that's like that's their in-game cache.
Yeah.
Dragon Quest. It says Dragon Quest 2, but it's actually Dragon Quest Builders. We know that's coming out sometime this year. Silver Bars add-on. Yeah, see, that's a bigger Silver Bars add-on for that. Destiny Comet, which we already know is coming out in the fall. Final Fantasy
Is that
7.
DLC for Destiny 2?
Yeah. That's they name their stuff after astrological crap. Final Fantasy 7 remake. That should make some of you excited.
Xbox One.
NBA 2K19. That's standard. That always comes out. Metroid Prime 4 hasn't been announced yet, but we've been pretty sure. Super Smash Brothers for the Switch. Borderlands 3. Now there's one I can get behind. We haven't heard much about it, and only rumors that it was coming. But
I was just discussing that game the other day with somebody too, talking about we've been waiting for it. Yeah.
Lego DC Villains. I don't think we knew about
that one. Sounds interesting. That one sounds interesting. I like the Lego games. They're the same no matter what. Like, they don't really necessarily innovate that much, but did they really need to? And doing it from the villain's perspective is always kind of interesting. I kind of wish they were doing a Marvel DC one. That would be neat.
Oh, Beyond Good and Evil, which these are placeholders with no dates. They could happen sometime next year too. So we already knew that was coming as well. Dreams, I don't know what that is. Rage 2.
Now with Dreams, I was thinking, remember Nights into Dreams?
No.
You don't remember that?
No, I don't remember.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not discounting it. I'm just saying I don't remember it.
Yeah.
Did I miss it up there? There's a Splinter Cell title on the loose. So this is it's very interesting because it just ended yesterday. There was an event in Ghost Recon Wildlands where you could meet up with Sam Fisher and do a mission with with Sam Fisher and his Splinter Cell outfit.
Oh, that's really neat.
They brought back Michael Ironside to do the voice, who was the original voice actor for most of the games, except for the last one. So I wonder if he struck a deal to play the character again, because he sounded the same as he did before. A little bit older, you could hear, but I mean, Sam's a little older anyways. I think one of the flashbacks was to the original Gulf War. So he's been in service for quite some time. He's an older guy. And Forza Horizons 5. And then there's also Shantae, the Half Genie Hero, Ultimate Day 1 Edition for the Switch.
You missed Gears of War 5.
And Gears of War 5. Oh, yeah, that's right.
I don't think they really need another Gears of War game.
Yeah. I saw somebody say something about GOW in the Reddit gaming the other day, and I was like, oh, they're talking about Gears of War. And then, no, it's God of War. It's like, nobody gives a crap about that.
Well, God of War is the thing right now.
I know, but, I don't know. I do like those adventure games, especially the ones that are linear and actually give you an idea of where you're going in the story, but sometimes it's like, man, why? Let's do more. And then I go play WoW. So, but all right, I think that's all we got.
I think that's a lot.
Finally being back. It's been a long time away, and it feels good to do a show again. And if nobody picked up on that part when we were talking about Marvel stuff earlier, yeah, I'm thinking about doing a show about the Marvel movies. But it's been in the works for a long time, and it sat on the back burner for a while, and we'll see if we can nail it down. I mean, how hard could it be? There's only 18 movies to do.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah, so I've already started my collection. I've got 4 so far. Iron Man being the best one, but I'm just kidding. I've watched them all multiple times already since I've gotten them. So, but other than that, I think that's it, right? That's all we got.
Yep.
That's all of it. All right. Thanks for coming out. For those of you that came out live and hung out with us, those of you that are listening at home, we greatly appreciate it, and we love the support. And give us feedback on the show wherever you get it from, whether you get it from the iTunes Store or the Google Play Store or wherever. We'll greatly appreciate it. And don't forget to check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/StasisGeek, where you can help us develop the show further and hopefully make this more a stable thing. Because if I have the income to develop the show further and fix things and make that static go away like I did recently, or new stuff, new things for the show, new things, giveaways, everything. It's all on the page. Go check it out. Definitely give it a check out. Go ahead.
You can contact us at ECG_podcast on Twitter, at our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/ECGpodcast, or our email address at ECGpodcast@gmail.com. Also visit us at our webpage, www.stasisgeek.com. That's STASISGEEK.com. Or post a comment on this video, or one of the other videos, or the videos I do, the ones Jeremy does. We have literally tens of videos out there, and we will probably read them, maybe.
And don't forget to, once we give the announcement, check out Opu's book, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's probably pretty good.
You know what? It's definitely going to be a book that you can own.
Like this one.
Yes. Like that one.
Yeah, you
or
forgot to pimp this one, too.
This one.
The
Which one? The Heart of the Child one?
Yeah.
Okay, now that one. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, that was for charity, so you should go buy it. And guess what? If you hate my writing, there was like 19 other authors in there that you could write from. I know that it's been put in some libraries, and some teachers are actually going to be using it as a reference tool. They're probably using my story as, okay, this is how you don't write, children.
It was
like
a pretty
an
good
insane
story.
homeless
I
person.
liked it. That was pretty good. I liked it.
Well, I appreciate it. So
It's spoilers. It's about monsters under the bed. It's awesome.
yeah.
It's really cool. It was a really cool idea. It was a neat prompt, and he did well with it. I enjoyed it. Even my daughter enjoyed it. I made her sit down and read it. I tortured her.
That was the most adorable thing. She was like, he recorded some of it, and she was like, she read it, and she's like, this is pretty good. Can I go play now? It's like, dude, don't hold her for ransom or whatever.
Well, she reads a lot of things. She was actually delaying her bedtime last night, looking all cute, laying on her bed, reading comics, and I was like,
"Aw, it's hard to be mad at them.
Yeah,
when they're doing stuff like reading.
Yeah, right. So
yeah.
All right. We'll be back next week. I've got a nice long weekend off, and my dad will be in town, so I'll definitely be doing a show. But until then, stay geeky.